Hello everyone, I am Vipul Dikshit from your own channel Vipsastro. I hope you all are doing well. Today we will discuss a very important topic. Many of you have asked me questions about what to expect because everyone has many thoughts and concerns in their mind about how the Mars Mahadasha will impact India. That is, how the Mars Mahadasha, which India is currently undergoing, will impact our own country. Now, let us dive deep into this to understand something. According to India's horoscope, as of September 2025, India has officially entered Mars Mahadasha, which will continue for the next 7 years. India's birth chart has Taurus ascendant. Mars' influence in this chart is often considered malefic, that is harmful, and its impact during this period will be deep, bringing negativity and significant events. Let's decode what this Mars Mahadasha means for India, its people, and the country standing in the world. I will share important points with you one by one, so please make a note of them very carefully. Thank you all very much for appreciating my videos. If you have watched my previous videos on the lunar eclipse, you may have noticed that my calculations have been very accurate. I clearly mentioned that the lunar eclipse would lead people coming out on the streets for protests, and indeed we saw such events in Nepal, France, and London shortly after. I have done detailed analysis of the Mars Mahadasha in India's chart and want to share the finer points of what Mars is bringing. Please keep some things in mind and understand their meanings clearly. The effects of Mars Mahadasha or sub-period do not strictly govern natural disasters at the country or global level. For example, if someone says major earthquakes will occur only during Mars Mahadasha, that's incorrect. Earthquakes can happen anytime, independently of planetary periods. Similarly, tsunamis, storms, or floods are not directly connected to Mars Mahadasha. If anyone claims that India will certainly go to a big war during Mars Mahadasha, that is also incorrect. India in the past have participated in wars even before, without Mars Mahadasha being active. Now, Mars in the chart may have a malefic role, but war is not directly caused by its Mahadasha. Please make a point of it. Likewise, some say that India will become very prosperous or fall into deep economic trouble because of Mars Mahadasha. Be cautious about such claims. For example, India witnessed demonetization without Mars Mahadasha, which shook the entire country. Stock market fluctuations, natural calamities, or political changes are not directly linked to Mars Mahadasha. Avoid negative misconceptions and fear about these things. Before today's session, just some time back, a viewer of mine called me asking if India's borders will be safe during Mars Mahadasha and if they should consider leaving the country for safety. I was quite surprised by such fears based on inaccurate or rather incomplete calculations. You don't yet fully understand how Mars Mahadasha is manifesting. Every Mahadasha has both positive and negative effects. Marak planets does not strictly mean death or end. Please disregard that common misunderstanding. Now, let's take a look at some positive outcomes which we may face during Mars Mahadasha. For all the Indians living abroad or Indians in general will make their mark on the world stage. Many will invest in foreign property and gain recognition globally. India will also achieve significant milestones in space technology and research during these 7 years of Mars Mahadasha. Innovations and awards at the highest levels are possible, including a very major news about Indian satellites. Spirituality will enter a new dimension in India. There will be efforts to revive ancient spiritual traditions and rituals, with more youth turning towards spirituality. A spiritual revolution is on the horizon for India in these 7 years. Though much will change on the earthly plane, India's spiritual roots will deepen even more. That is a very, very positive sign. Now, we may see notable spiritual leaders emerge who will help spread India's culture worldwide. In politics and society, there will be challenges. Growing corruption, vote bank manipulation, fraudulent activities, and political promises that turn out to be fake. For that very purpose, the government, you can take into consideration both the state government and the central government into this. They will face significant significant challenges during this timeline. That also including the internal dissent and the public distrust. Major economic changes will come with mergers in the banking sector and possible cyber attacks. Banking services may be interrupted and stock market volatility will continue. Real estate markets will experience fluctuations. Be cautious to avoid financial losses during this critical timeline. I ask you to keep an eye out to avoid any financial losses. Now to the next point, foreign trade and currency involvement will bring both opportunities and challenges. India might increasingly invest in certain foreign currencies and ignore others. That is what is seen during this timeline. Mars, which is known as the army chief and the protector, associated with aggression and beginnings. Mars also relates to the land and machinery, but the land may cause problems with delays and regulatory changes in real estate transactions. There may be significant discoveries under the earth, like some rare minerals, which is very positive in this timeline and looks very lucrative for the country on the whole. Now, coming to the border areas, the border security challenges will certainly continue, and India as a country will take firm steps to strengthen its borders. India's progress in telecommunications, space technology, and machinery exports will be noticeable. However, India will also face betrayal from some of its friends and alliances. During this particular time period of Mars Mahadasha, relations with countries like the United States of America and China may experience strains, especially if dialogues stall during that timeline. India's government will struggle to maintain balance amongst all foreign relations during this particular time period of Mars Mahadasha. Domestic violence cases and lots of political instability will likely rise due to different planetary influences, with upcoming elections marked by increased fraud, manipulation, as well as possibly unethical tactics during this timeline. The corruption levels will also increase, contrary to earlier hopes of complete eradication. This is going to be quite opposite. We expect the corruption level to increase during this timeline. Economic difficulties will also increase due to the banking system weakness and large scale scandals which might come out during this timeline. The public may develop a stronger attachment to culture, sometimes leading to conflicts or opposition stemming from protecting traditions. Public discourse will be marked by false promises and unrestrained speech from lots of different politicians will also be noticed during the Mars Mahadasha time period. Also during this period, we expect the trust between the government and the citizens will decline sharply, causing lot of confrontation amongst the citizens and the government. The government will also face lots of hardships and must navigate very carefully during this particular timeline. A major wrong decision, what we expected in this timeline, will be made during this period, causing significant harm to the people. I am calculating details around this and will share insights very soon. The initial 1.5 years of this Mahadasha will be quite aggressive, followed by a sort of a political unrest which we see for about 2.5 years timeline, ending with a challenging phase for the public during the entire timeline post these 3.5 years. The future sessions will also explore the upcoming solar eclipses impact and how to manage these difficulties constructively. I would request you to please keep a track on those videos in future. Now I would like to thank you for watching, and please feel free to ask questions in the comment sections. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and definitely click the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. In the end, I would like to thank you, and if you want to ask anything, know anything, understand anything about yourself, you must contact me. I will try my best to help you all in every possible manner. Thank you.